Okay. So, I'm going to be trying to do this and eat at the same time. But, this video is going to be, I guess it could be for homeless people in general or people who aren't homeless but want to know about some of the quote unquote work programs or whatever, or resources. But I'd rather for this to be geared more to people who are doing the runaway and lay low till 18 thing, which I have a whole playlist about how to do that as correctly as you can do it, and about different risks that can happen if you don't have the right mindset, or just, you could do everything right and things could still go really left. But yeah, anyway. So right here I have homeless industrial system / homeless jobs. So probably gonna say so about 10 times plus. Where I'm at, there's this homeless job program type thing where the homeless people like go around cleaning, and then they clean downtown and on trails and stuff, and basically all over the city, to make a long story short. I remember I had asked about that a while back because I was trying to figure out if they asked for ID or anything, because as you may know, if you know anything about running away, or if you watch the videos and about the runaway and lay low till 18 thing, you would know you can't really work a job with a missing persons case, or at least, you probably could, but it could be risky, because there's all these cases about kids getting kidnapped by relatives and enrolled in school states away, and that's kind of because the police really don't even look, but it's still risky, and so I wouldn't advise someone to try getting a job over the table if you're a missing person, and most people wouldn't. So I was trying to see if they ask for ID, and if you how the check works. And I wasn't able to get much information. Honestly, I should have just figured it out on my own, but I couldn't figure out where the place was because I couldn't get any real answers at anybody for a long time. But what somebody did tell me is that this city cleanup crew pays people below minimum wage. But I've had other staff at resource centers tell me more recently, and I think somebody did tell me this before a while back, that they only pay the homeless people in gift cards, and that's something that you're going to see a lot, because now I'm finally getting to the point. And that's something that you're going to see a lot when you're a victim to the homeless industrial complex or system or industry or whatever. You're going to see that people are always talking about homeless people being quote unquote lazy and not working, and about how there's so many programs supposedly, but you'll realize that there's programs to help you get hired like this, because as you may know, some jobs may not want to hire people due to them being homeless and not having an address, or because them not really being that clean, or just because of other issues a person may have, which is kind of like a side thing that can happen even if you have a house. And so there's programs like what I'm mentioning now, the city cleanup crew, that claim that they're there to combat that issue, but then you get hired by them and you're getting paid in gift cards, which obviously you really can't do jack with other than go to certain stores. Let's be honest. So they pay you in Ross gift cards that are worth $10 or $20. And then, I mean, what does that really do for you? So you get, I mean, if you get enough, but the thing is, clothes isn't really like the most important thing, especially with nowhere to even put clothes. So that's bull crap. Because I know that some of the resource centers around here do give out Ross gift cards, and then CVS, and sometimes they'll have some for this grocery place, but those ones run out quickly for obvious reasons. And it's like, still at the end of the day, you can't save up to get a house or to rent an apartment getting paid in gift cards. I was actually really, really lucky a couple months back when this dude had told me about this place downtown, a check cashing place where I can go there and I can trade in gift cards. It's actually better to try to deal with people in person, like random people out on the street, but I don't really know anybody who would actually pay me for a gift card. Not to mention, what if the person just doesn't believe that there's actually money on there? So my only option was going to that check cashing place, but they only pay you half of what's on the gift card, of course, when you go to the gift card exchange place. But that was my only way to make money, so I mean, it still kind of is, other than when I try to sell my art, which I haven't done in a while because it really, I mean, it was something, but it definitely wasn't what I wanted it to be, obviously. It kind of went like the Redbubble store that I've had since 2020. Well, no, honestly, it went way better than that. Let me not even say that. But not 2020. It wasn't 2020. It was the summer of 2021, which is still there. If anybody even cares, if anybody even watches this. But okay, so that's the first thing that I have on my list. Getting paid in gift cards. The second thing is places that get you to volunteer for free and they claim it's for quote unquote work experience. And that's the thing though, as not bad as that may sound, the thing is these places are probably getting grant money and all types of funding to pay people. Because, of course, like people always say, the grant money that's donated to places, even places that have nothing to do with homelessness, the grant money and the donations and all that goes towards paying the staff. And then once things like the light bill and the water bill, if the place even offers services like that, or well, I mean, of course they would for the staff at least. So even if they don't let the people, like the homeless people in, to use the bathroom, the staff will have a bathroom. So yeah, once the light bill and the water bill is paid and the staff are paid and things like that, most of the money's already gone. I've heard a couple people say things like that have actually worked in these types of places. And the staff at places like this commonly, well, I won't say commonly, but sometimes they get paid about $100,000 a year. And of course, I'm not saying people shouldn't get paid, but I mean, the money should go to what it's supposed to go to. So I don't even know if I ever finished the sentence, but the issue with quote unquote volunteer for quote unquote work experience is that places doing things like that probably do get money that's actually supposed to go to them paying the homeless people that work for them. But instead, they have it labeled as volunteer work. Meanwhile, the person's getting nothing. And I already went over the getting paid below minimum wage. So yeah, that's some things that you may come across if you're homeless, or even if you're doing the lay low, runaway lay low till 18 thing. But of course, if you are doing the runaway lay low till 18 thing, if you don't really look like you're 18 plus, because you're still gonna have to lie and say you're 18 or older. Honestly, if you could say that you're 21, I would advise someone to do that, because that even can make things a little better when it comes to these programs that don't really care how well. I mean, of course they have to tell you that you're supposed to be 18 plus, but since these places usually just want somebody to put their name on a list so that way they can get the more grant money, they don't really care, but you just have to say you're 18 just because. But of course, due to the fact that like shelters and resource centers where people can like go in there, due to the fact that things can happen and it can be risky, they are going to want you to be 18, because one of the things with the 18 laws, which I mentioned before, is it's not there because anybody actually cares about quote unquote kids or teens. It's really there so there can be like a limit to where people can't be sued if something happens to somebody's kid. That's all it's really there for. So that's why you got to tell these places that you're 18, which is kind of a side thing I'm about to go into, but it's really, really funny to me because, like I said before, maybe not on this channel, it's crazy how when you're actually in the bad situation that you need to get out of, all the quote-unquote mandated reporters don't care and won't help, and they'll make up reasons why they're too scared to help and why they just have to, I mean, I could think of some excuses, but due to the fact, okay, dang, what was I about to say? Oh, yeah. I think I was going to say, due to the fact that they work for the Cash for Kids system and they're technically paid to help abused kids, they make up all these excuses for why they won't help you when you're in your bad situation. But then once you escape an abuse situation and you're doing the runaway lay low till 18 thing, all of a sudden the mandated reporters that are around and even other random people all of a sudden want to call the police and want to report you to CPS and stuff. And it's like, why won't people do that when the kid is actually in the abuse situation? People have all types of excuses, like that's between you, your mom, and your dad, and that's none of my business and all that when you're in the bad situation. But then once you escape on your own, people are either trying to report you, doing let me help you lunatic type stuff, which I have a video about, or they're trying to guilt trip you back into the situation, which reminds me of another video I can make once I finish this one that I meant to make a couple of days ago. But yeah, that was just funny to me. And another thing that I could say about that, which I've said before, is that it's not fair that somebody has to be 18 plus to be able to get services for anything. The little bit of stuff that these resource centers even do. Like, go get some water, go use the bathroom, shower if you even live in a place that has a public shower. You shouldn't have to be 18 plus to eat, shower, and use the bathroom somewhere. But of course, when you're under 18 and you're not being abused and trafficked and labeled and drugged and all the other stuff through the Cash for Kids system, or just in living with whatever guardian, even if they're risky people, when you're not doing that, you're seen as a criminal. And kind of even when you're 18 plus, which I said before, when you're not being a slave to the system or being taken advantage of by the systems, you're seen as a criminal. You're also seen as a sociopath, technically, since the real clinical term is ASPD, which is antisocial personality disorder, which basically just means you don't want to go by the rules set in quote-unquote function in society. Regardless of what people really think that label means, that's the definition of it. Anti-society. That's really what they call it, or antisocial. So, yeah. Where was I going with this? Okay, wait a minute. I can't even remember, Jack, I'm saying. I don't even remember. But yeah, so if I remember, I'll put in the description. I don't even think I got to the point that I was trying to make. But that's the truth about homeless jobs, quote unquote.